Hello, and welcome to a scene for Darkness in Dublin, the Mage venue. As we are joined with two verbena. That's right, two of them. One who's horrifically scarred, and the other who's got an eye patch. She's a pirate, totally a pirate. As Callie has invited Morgan out for a walk. It's the early, I would say it's mid-afternoonish by this time. Callie's been walking with a hood over her face. Morgan would notice she doesn't like to, show the scars too much in public. As they're walking along, essentially, which is the canals of Dublin. There's even a place called Canal Street. We're very original like that. So you head along the undergrowth, you can see the River Liffey kind of just striding down along, People are keeping their busy, but these two seem to be heading along the undergrowth. They seem to be heading towards a specific place. As you can hear the hustle, the bustle, the canals almost remove it, almost to create this separation both for them and the rest of the world. As Callie will turn, and Morgan can see the long braids sticking out from her hood, and see the ruined, scarred face. Have you seen this part of the city before?
I have no idea.
Aren't you from here?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, I'm fairly sure. Otherwise, where would I have gotten a house?
Gives her like the most frowniest frown of frown faces.
Just shrugs?
You don't remember?
Mm-mm.
Well then. She just nods. We're heading towards where the Viking city underneath this place is.
Oh.
Dublin is... There's several cities that were populated by the Vikings in Ireland. They're usually by the river or the sea.
One might imagine so.
Then we're heading out somewhere. Once we pass through the undergrowth and head out, we're heading to a place that was held by what they call the Hellfire Club. Secret societies and all that. It's a ruin now, but imagine the spiritual energy around there.
I should wear... Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. I just brain farted. I don't even know what just happened. Sorry, say again, Torna.
Imagine the spiritual energies around the place, around the Hellfire Club ruins. Secret societies and all that.
I stand by that whole spirit stuff being your... kind of waggles her fingers at her teasingly thing.
But think of the power it resonates.
It's true.
And even the one of Morgan's brood, she'll smirk over her shoulder. But on her good side, so like Morgan is facing Callie's good side. Could at least attribute something to the souls of the dead.
You and your making sense, talking logic.
Hands her a bag of Maltesers, holds the bag open as she's walking.
Ooh! I don't actually know what those are. I'm not going to.
Chocolate balls, essentially.
Oh, wow. Aha! Yep. She starts her usual, casual, perpetual munch.
Just as you walk along, you go, again, it's peaceful, but it's loud. It's got this bustling utopia to it as you go along down under the growth, and you follow a few like tour guides and stuff like that, but keeping again to the distance, like Callie definitely does. You see a whole city underneath. Pots, pans, water, river, even runic symbols carved on some of the stone. An entire city underneath the bustling city of Dublin.
Like legit down in caves or something, or
Down under
just
the ground where the train tracks would be.
Jesus?
Like it's actually under there. Like you can take you take a tour guide down there and you go through, and it's like it's all there. Like they've been preserving it for years. There's been like a whole campaign in Ireland and stuff about it.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, should just follow along. Probably, when people say ruins, it's like, yeah, sure, there'll be like the signs of, I don't know, old foundations or some shit. But no, on they trod, Morgan munching the whole way, and when they finally get around to where she can start seeing these like legitimate ruins, there will actually be a pause in the footsteps, and she's like, the one visible eye kind of widens ever so slightly, like, huh. Excuse me.
Turn. This is the Viking city, she whispered as they're walking along. You can hear the crunch and the drip drip of water. They have been preserving this for a long time.
How about that shit?
She walks along, like keeping close to you. Imagine what myself, yourself, and Collins could do if we wandered down here.
Probably damn near anything we wanted.
There's a little, yeah, you see the smirk, smile rise on their good side.
And, hmm. But I think I can fix this readily. I'll just do this. If that's. There. Much better. Now she can stand on her good side and see her. It's fine. Nothing happened. Um. She'll turn, just a straight glance aside, echo the smirk. And yeah, takes a proper, keeping pace right beside her, will take a proper, real good scan around of the place.
Again, it's like a mixture of ruins, different foundations, actual like you can see where people used to have fire pots and all that as well. Like it's basically the bed and older buildings of an old Viking city. Ah,
Well,
I clicked the wrong button. Ah, Manicam, why?
click the other little
But
turny
like,
arrow.
yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm panicking. But yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
What happens is you see all of that.
I wonder if this is what I dreamed.
I had a dream too.
Was there a longship?
No, probably not the longship, but that's probably what you dreamed. I thought I would take you here and help you remember more.
It was an idle nod. And, heretical though it may be, she is not beyond reaching out to very lightly touch, these remnants.
You can there's like certain bits you can, certain bits you can't, because again it's a steep drop essentially. So there's certain bits you
Um,
can reach out and touch, but there's certain bits you have to kind of lean over and look down essentially.
yeah, she's not beyond doing it. In fact, it almost looks like there's a very compulsive desire to do so. She will pause a time or two, reaching out to touch something. It was. I think it was the keeper I saw.
On a long
Uh,
ship.
no, not on the ship. No, I was standing on the coast. I didn't recognize it, but there was mist. There were many, many people standing on the shore with me, looking out to the sea. And there was a longship.
We did raid from the sea. It could have been a monastery.
It was on fire.
Then it probably was a monastery. We could take a look around the ones that were raided.
No, the ship. The ship was ablaze.
Maybe it was a burial.
That could make sense. There was wailing. The classical. There's the wailing, the gnashing of teeth, the cries of people who had lost something.
Sounds like a burial. A traditional one.
And there was a man standing out in the water, waist deep. And he was holding a sword. And if what we've learned makes any kind of sense, I mean, what sword do you think it would be?
Yes.
But he was standing out in the water up to his waist. He had a tear running down his face.
Could be the burning of Lancelot. Could be anything.
I don't think they would have cried for him.
It might have done.
We spoke to them. They didn't know where he or Guinevere were. Said they disappeared.
We'll see. It could be the burning of his father, Uther.
I suppose so.
We'll pore over the maps and see what coastline it could be along.
It's just a nod, just acceptance.
Would you like to hear my dream?
Yes.
There's a woman out in the forest to the north of here. A waterfall. And standing in a pool of water, there's a young woman. She's about my age. And she's beautiful. Hair like yours. Plays with Morgan's hair.
It's just kind of a blink. Faint grin. She reaches out to, fiddle with her hair.
However, tan skin, not as pale as yours. Looks like she's been in the outdoors weather, if you get me. Weather beaten. But beautiful all the same. And then she turned and looked at me and asked her to free her.
Or from what?
From maybe the water. When I went to take a step forward, I touched the banks of the pool and was thrown from the forest with such force I awoke. My muscles were sore as if I had just hiked.
I woke crying from mine, even though I knew none of the faces. I didn't even realize it was a burial on my own.
We have to find the poison called the dripped rose. That's the last thing I remember.
What?
It said the last clear thought that came into my head before I woke was, find the poison dripped rose.
She actually kind of compulsively reaches up because she doesn't always wear it, but she has this weird lavender rose that looks perfectly natural, but it never seems to decay.
Don't think it's that.
No, it's just strange.
Perhaps we can investigate it together.
Well, of course.
If you want to, that is.
She cracks a grin, glancing sideways. Do you think for a moment that I would not?
Perhaps you're too busy with your dream. Should turn and look out at the ruins.
I can look after my dream with books. But yours sounds like quite the invigorating walk.
I used to go like that for walks with my father.
Did you?
We used to live out in the mountain landscape down south, in Kerry. We came from Norway originally. He said it was the closest place that was like that home.
old were you when you came here?
About 2. My mom died due to complications in childbirth. Lost too much blood. So it was just me and my dad for the longest time out in the mountains.
Hmm.
He did wildlife biology, so he was always interested in plants and animals. She'll like walk along beside you, you know.
Keep pace, keep a careful eye to the more treacherous bits of footing. But yeah, just nods along here and there.
He gave me a book on Norse mythology, and I read the story of how Balder died, and I fell in love.
With the man who died.
Yes,
Every time you read about him.
nods, smiling. That poor grim, you know, that poor wicked grimace smile, essentially.
Admittedly, she won't see the grimace unless she turns to face her fully, but she'll still reach out and playfully, like, tweak one of the braids. I'd tease you for a strange sense of romance, but I'm hardly in a place to do that.
Eyebrow raise.
I know
Oh,
my stories. I know how they make me feel.
do you remember your parents at all?
No.
Are you going to go look for them?
Guess I hadn't thought about it.
You should.
She actually finally gives a glance around, and it occurs to her that are they down here alone?
There'd be some people passing by, but generally on this type of tour, people keep themselves to themselves. You know what I mean? You can kind of wander and leisure at your own pace. You know.
Yeah, she'll keep the eye patch flicked down. No, she does kind of lift her hand for a moment and fiddle with it thoughtfully. I just woke up with a strong sense of what I am doing. I don't know where I'd start looking.
Well, you obviously have a name, Morgan.
It is not the most uncommon of names.
No, but but we can at least try to see. Hmm, I believe there are some people that can access the mind quicker, better. Perhaps we can poke an earliest memory apart from you waking up. Maybe we can trigger a memory.
Perhaps.
If that's what you want, of course.
There aren't many I would trust rooting around in my head.
I mean, in time and theory, I could do it.
There's an almost mock serious once over given. Like, you might well be an exception.
I might be.
Shoots her a broader little grin. Hey, teasing.
Hmm. Why might I be?
Donald will shrug. From what
When-
I understand, there's meant to be a certain amount of inherent trust, isn't there? Among your own?
True. Is that what this is? Then just blatant trust.
What do you want it to be?
What? She just kind of shrugs absentmindedly, like I'm not really sure. Type stare. What do you want it to be?
Hmm. Thinks about it, kind of leans in. And we'll probably, rather than giving into her initial urge, we'll just lean a bit and kind of like snaps her teeth near her ear. Again, it's a teasing kind of thing. I think calling it simple trust sounds boring. I like you.
She smirks at just a tiny bit on the right side of her face. You like me.
I do.
Why is that?
It's kind of finally a bit of a squint. You garnered a knack for awkward questions.
I'm curious about you. She's walking along, like
I am too.
folding her hands together in front of her stomach.
Oh, I like you. You make sense. You just fit.
I just fit. She'll look over her shoulder.
You just fit.
Hmm.
I dare say you suit me nicely.
It's the most honest compliment I've ever gotten.
There's kind of a quirked brow.
There's a little teasing smile.
I don't see any reason to lie.
No, most people just do. That's why I'm saying that it's an honest one.
I hope you at least gut punch them for it.
I'd do much worse than that.
Oh. She like edges a little closer so they're walking like shoulder to shoulder. Do tell.
Well, if I'd have been a bit more provoked, I would have taken your friend Glassbaw's fingers.
That's so.
Both index. So you would
Why?
have trouble. You would have had trouble typing.
See, this is why I like you. Just make the perfect amount of sense. He grins.
It'll teach him a lesson for disrespecting mine.
I dare say you might actually learn the lesson.
Did you mean what you said when you would go hurt him for disrespecting me?
Hmm. Yes. Yes, I did.
Just nods and takes it in. I see. I see. She doesn't say it with any sort of spite. It's just this curiosity. Biting her nails as she's walking. And your friend Owen,
Hmm?
the
Friend is
worshipper.
a strong term.
The worshipper.
A lackey sent to keep an eye on me.
Do you think you need keeping an eye on?
Someone does.
Does not offend you.
I don't find being provided a thrall offensive.
I do.
Grins.
I do. Especially by the way he talked about you. Like you're some sort of child.
I dare say I should like to see the look on his face when he finds out I am not the China doll he keeps calling me.
Perhaps you can show him. Next time he calls you it.
I keep trying to decide if he's worth the effort.
I mean, she just keeps walking. The way she looks around God saying that tolerate a fool once and you'll laugh, tolerate a fool twice and you'll bleed.
Doesn't sound unwise or unfounded.
You don't have to hurt him. Just remind him.
Well, as you can see, he's doing a fine job. And she sweeps her arm around the surroundings where it's like, there's tourists here and there. And that's nice and all.
After all, he's deeply suspicious of me.
Mm.
His ilk are always fools anyway.
Are they?
Yes.
He seems to have grand illusions.
They often do. She says, and such spite in that voice.
Shade.
Mm-hmm. After all, he is one of them and they let that incident occur.
It seems that everyone just let that incident occur.
It did. But he speaks with such great pride and knowledge, and he let that happen. Very telling. She takes one of the chocolate Maltesers and puts it in her mouth, slowly eating it.
He is loud and full of himself. I would say useful if he wasn't so flagrantly tied. Wonder tells
I'll
who
explain.
else he's tied to.
I'll explain his ilk to you in one simple sentence, if you'll let me.
Oh, do please.
She takes both of Morgan's hands, holds them in hers, gestures with the right hand. We understand both. We and his both understand the beginning, and then lifts up her left cold dead hand, and the ending. However, she folds the hands right into the middle of both their bodies. We have a great understanding of them. This, the center, the middle places of it. They have nothing and will never understand that part at all.
Their loss.
They see the world as beginning, plays with her hand as she's doing it, an ending, plays with her hand again.
It's a shame they're so blind.
She smiles.
Think to pity. Something that believed. Such a narrow idea.
Keep that in mind. I could tell you about the Kevin as well, which is why I'm so amused looking at her. She's walking beside you.
Hmm? Oh, do tell.
As powerful as the mind can be, you cannot deny the body so easily.
Blink.
Looks over at her. That's what they believe. True here. They have the key to everything. But they never fully accept it. She reaches and touches Morgan's chest. What is both in here and in the mind? The blood of it all. And then they resist the call that they know is there.
What a waste.
Just smile. I'm glad you agree. She interlocks her hand with Morgan as she's walking, essentially. It's almost like a safety. You just get the impression it's like a safety net.
Yeah, she'll reciprocate. As much as we are different, we are the same. Why would I see it any differently?
Just making sure you see it the way it should be seen.
I'm still learning. I should probably spend more time with the keeper.
You could spend more time with me. You should wink.
There's a wry grin.
Or Collins. He understands it too. Now, he may not be one of us, but he understands it.
More importantly, he respects it.
Exactly. I have been thinking we should form a group together. Perhaps even get a place to stay.
We did decide that 3 was quite the auspicious number.
Indeed, we did.
Didn't Colin say something about looking? For somewhere that we could tuck ourselves away. Then again, you seem to know the area well.
True.
If I ever did, I don't remember. And Collins, well, she kind of smirks just as the accent kind of bubbles up in the back of her head. He's certainly not from around here.
Perhaps we'll look together.
Hardly the worst notion.
As you walk along and go under the grove, you travel for a long time, and you come out to this long field towards this old runic castle. It's like a miniature type thing. To your point, the Hellfire Club.
And
All
what is
sort,
that?
where they all held all their secret societies, and they would all drink and fuck and debauch themselves. Why? To celebrate some notion of power and in commune with your gods of the earth.
Sounds like a party to me.
Old fools. She turns and stares at the ruined building.
There's power in most of it. They can't very well reach out and touch it, can they?
No. They thought that if they break their bodies, the gods would be kind to them.
Did they?
Yes, but they don't understand that the gods demand a sacrifice. And we must be prepared to make it in the end. Only then do we truly become a conduit of their power.
She gives her head a bit of a shake, so she's having trouble focusing.
Sit with me out here for a while. Feel the energy of it all. I can hear them.
Hear nothing.
She touches Morgan's face incredibly delicately, almost sadly. Not everyone is gifted with the song of the dead.
And admittedly, she's a bit taken aback by the touch, if only because it's very fond. Though the condolence that comes with it explains a measure of it away. And she will actually lift up her own hand and, rather than reaching out to touch the good side, will just kind of delicately, likewise, set her fingers on the more scarred portion of her face.
Close. You see the delay eye close when you touch her scarred face.
That's why I have you, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
It's finally that slight toothy edge to the smile. And what do they say?
They talk of power, blood, and the gods speak.
Universal truths.
Again, Callie seems to freeze as you're touching her scarred face.
It's not overly prolonged.
It's a noticeable though, like delay in breath and everything. You know, it's like you've literally just pressed like the pause button on an internet thing, and you know what I mean when you kind of unpause, unpause, unpause. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing.
Yeah. Though she leaves her hand up there for a couple moments. And while she wouldn't graze the nails, not over that skin, not when it could still be sensitive, um, in a negative fashion, she'll kind of graze the pads of her fingers for just a very short distance before she lets it fall.
And they cry out how foolish they were that they thought they could be equal to the gods themselves.
Sorry, to the what?
To the gods themselves.
Surprisingly frequent mistake.
Yes. You stay out here with me.
I have nowhere else I have to be.
Then
Besides,
enjoy yourself.
a pause and a glance.
Dance the world dance. Practice your magic. Let them feel you, see you, breathe you. Feel the blood of the world at your fingertips and the earth underneath it.
Are they out at the Hellfire Club? I'm trying to remember where we left them. Is you're detailing it, or are we still at by this small? Oh no, that
Yeah,
is the small
that's
castle.
yeah. Nobody around. Like it's far out.
She grins and will still twined hand in hand. We'll start pulling, leading her to move into this place that was so many times before used. And will honestly, because she can't afford to have someone spot her dancing naked out in a field. I mean, what are the chances that someone's going to manage to come across both of them without startling or warning when they're inside, especially in a place that they probably shouldn't be? If there are, the little cautionary chains up and whatnot, no, that's not gonna do the job.
No, actually, there's not. You can just waltz in and out.
Oh, fabulous! Yeah, she just waltzes right the fuck in, and probably not just inside the door, but once they've moved into, I think I saw that there were halls, rooms.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be once she's maybe partway down the hall. She'll start shedding clothing because that's how you do these things. She'll be pulling the spearhead from around her neck, pulling the patch off her eye, pitching it onto the rest of the clothing.
Callie watches, observing, meditating, and engaging in her own weird Nordic chants as she looks around the place, almost becoming one with the spirits of the dead.
Fabulous. So as the pair of them just indulge in their respective practices, shall we call it there?
Yes.